What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Today, I got a grievance with some of these so-called pro-black, black activists, YouTube scholars, and shock jocks that got something to say about Dr. Martin Luther King, right? As if you can do better than Dr. Martin Luther King. As if you've done more for your people than Dr. Martin Luther King. As if you are as brave as Dr. Martin Luther King. Because the problem that we got in some of these black YouTube spaces, and you got some of these do nothing, over amped up, over self-important, like some of y'all guys think y'all more important than you are, right? And you think you can punch down on our elders that did the best they could with what they had to make effective change for African Americans. That's the problem. Everybody who criticized Dr. Martin Luther King, you couldn't wear his shoes. You couldn't fit his shoes, right? You can't even, he got more bravery in his little pinky than y'all got in your whole entire body, because he's a warrior. He was a warrior. And see, you guys are so simple-minded, you guys don't understand tactics at all. You guys don't understand tactics at all. So let me peep you to some game, all right, for all you guys who don't understand the methodology that he had with the nonviolent movement. Because y'all think, oh, nonviolence, that's just him being a sucker. That's him letting white people beat us up. Let me explain something to you. Europeans have always thought that we couldn't feel anything, that we're too strong, that we're beast. They look at us like we're the Hulk. So that way they can justify the things that they do to us. That way they can justify all the torment. They can justify the discrimination. So that their kids can feel good about the discrimination. So that they can feel good about all the dumb shit, all the xenophobia, all the hatred they have to us, all the violence they commit to us. But here's the thing, none of it was recorded. None of it was to be seen. Nobody saw it. So if nobody saw it, nobody would want to do anything about it. You understand? This is when the age of information first started, when it first flourished. Remember the Vietnam War? Before the Vietnam War, everybody thought war was just something glorious. It was easy to create characters like Superman and Captain America to galvanize people, to motivate them to be all super extra patriotic, to go fight foreign wars for rich folks, right? But what happened when the Vietnam War happened, and all of a sudden that war was on TV? All of a sudden, when the troops come back home, they're not heroes. They get vilified, which is unfair for the troops, because warriors just fight. Warriors always just fight. They usually ain't got nothing to do with the reason for the fight, and they just fight because they have to, or usually it's just because they have to, right? But when World War I and II was happening, when millions of people were being destroyed, when people were being raped, and all sorts of mass atrocities and genocide happened, everybody was just, oh yeah, let's support the troops. Oh yeah, they was rallying like it was a goddamn game, until the Vietnam War happened, when everybody saw it on TV, and all of a sudden, people started to have hearts and started to change their mind about what they think about war and American imperialism all over the world. What do you think Dr. King was doing? Where was all the evidence of all the xenophobic, racist, horrible, despicable thing that European Americans was doing to African Americans? Where was it? Because as far as the world was concerned, we were invincible creatures that can't feel nothing, so they can do anything they want to us. So what did Dr. Martin Luther King and all his brave followers, who none of you guys who on the internet, all you black guys talking shit about him, none of you guys can even fill his shoes. What do you think he did? He said, we're gonna show the world how disgusting these Europeans are. We're gonna show the world how absolutely inhumane and subhuman these guys are. And we're gonna sacrifice our physical bodies. Do you understand what kind of cojones you gotta have to march behind enemy territory, knowing these beasts are gonna attack you, knowing that the law enforcement is gonna release dogs on you, knowing you're gonna get sprayed, knowing all this shit's gonna happen? Putting yourself in harm's way on purpose without fighting back. Because I guarantee you, had we fought back, the narrative would have been different. It'd have been black mob destroys and attacks white neighborhood. Black mob comes in and destroys and wrecks European community, justifying all the hate and discrimination that they had for us in the first place. So what better visual propaganda than to see thousands of black people marching peacefully and watching all these savage ass white people beat the shit out of them? Yeah, it hurt. Yeah, a lot of them died. But guess what? Hold up. It was recorded. It was recorded for all to see. for all to see the horrible, despicable shit that them Europeans did to us. So that way they can't go on their news networks and say it didn't happen, because the whole world saw it. The whole world saw what white people was doing to us when we was just walking peacefully. They couldn't justify it. That was the game, propaganda. So you guys are so stupid. Some of y'all don't even understand tactics. Why do you, here's a modern day example of the tactic that he used that worked. Because guess what? All of us can go on YouTube and look up and see what them Europeans did. And guess what? Them European Americans here, they can't forget it. We'll never allow them to forget it, because we got fucking video to show them that they did it. And we can point half of them out who still exist and still alive today, who still walking around here pretending like they weren't involved in that shit. Guess what? They're exposed. The cat can't get put back in the bag. And that was the tactic that he used. Now, some of you guys like to say, oh, well, Dr. Martin Luther King, he wanted us to integrate with white people. And that was the whole movement. That means you guys are shallow and y'all don't know shit. It wasn't about us being eaten with fucking white people. It's about us having equal opportunities as supposed Americans. You know, y'all guys seem to keep thinking y'all Americans. As supposed Americans, to be given the opportunity to utilize the same services that Europeans were using, that has of the same standard, so that our schools can be at the same standard as Europeans. So that we can have the same access to water, electric, power, business opportunities, financial opportunities, the right to live and pursue our dreams without being hindered by the systematic racist system that we are forced to live upon. That's what he was about. Nonviolence. It was about nonviolence, because the nonviolent tactic shows that African Americans, African people, are not vicious savages that white people will have you believe that we are. And he proved that we weren't. And I take my hat off to the elders who died and sacrificed themselves so to show the world exactly who these Europeans are. And they can never be let to forget about that shit. Dr. Malcolm X, he had another method. His was not so much nonviolence, right? But people only heard one speech, Dr. Martin Luther King, and they talk shit, right? They clearly didn't hear the rest of the speech. And they clearly didn't hear the other hundreds of speeches that he made, right? That's how shallow and stupid some of these so-called pro-black, pan-African freaking people who think it's cool and chic. They hate on every single African leader that did what they had to do for their people at the time, with the things that they had that they knew the best, right? We know better now, and we do better now. Now, he was a Christian. Therefore, his ideology and his movement was based off the Christian out of the church. Malcolm X was a Muslim. We all know Muslims have more of a radical, more of a combative way of getting things done, as seen as today. Now, here is the modern day version of what he did. What do you think Hamas did when they attacked Israel? What do you think they did? You think they didn't know Israel was going to do what they were doing now? Huh? You don't think they knew that by attacking Israel, and keep in mind, every single Israeli citizen is a soldier. So that was an action against soldiers. Every single Israeli citizen is a soldier. So the people that got attacked on the 7th were soldiers, all right? And allegedly it was Hamas who did it in the first place. But let's just go with that, all right? They did this because they knew Israel would go in there and start mass murdering and commit this type of genocide, and they knew the whole world was going to see it because everybody got cell phones now. Now look at the world. The world is all against not so much Israel, but the actual government. The world is against the government because now the world can see, just like he did. The world can see. What do you think Gandhi did? He did the same thing. He made sure that the world can see, even though I don't like Gandhi because Gandhi was a racist piece of shit. I don't know if he changed, but he was a racist piece of shit, right? But either way, the tactic works. Non-violence to allow other people to show their ass and to show how fucking stupid and subhuman they are. That's exactly what Hamas, or the people we call Hamas, is doing now. Now everybody can see how subhuman the IDF is. Everybody can see how subhuman Benjamin Netanyahu is. Everybody can see it. And nobody can justify and tell us we can't see what we see. You can't tell us we can't see what we see. We're seeing it. So no amount of verbal propaganda, no amount of newspaper propaganda is gonna convince the people who can see what they see that they don't see what they see. That's clearly genocide. He made sure that we saw what we saw. You can't say that them European Americans didn't commit mass atrocities against us because we got it on tape. Huh? Nice and packaged for everybody to see, always to be remembered. So yeah, I got a prop. Y'all need to put some more respect on Dr. Martin Luther King's name. I'm older than he is. Imagine that shit. Imagine the cojones he took for him to do that at such a young age. What the hell is the rest of y'all doing? Because everybody talking shit about him is much, much older than him and ain't done half the shit that he did. So anyway, put some respect back on Dr. Martin Luther King's name because y'all can't even fit his shoes. That's all I got to say. This Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.